Welcome back to another episode of Backroads and Backstories, where we talk to the tastemakers in country music, the new faces, and now in our Country in the Park edition of Backroads and Backstories, we start pre-gaming and get ready for May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Shane Profitt is on with us, man. We are so excited to be able to have you hanging with us today.
I'm excited to be here, pal.
Dude, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to talk a lot about May coming up today as we chat. I want to start with the brand new song that you have out right now. You've been talking a lot about it on social media, and man, it is just powerful. Do Anything is just such a powerful song. It always struck that way from the first time that you've played it for us, and talked a lot about how you and your fiance really prayed about it about how to put the song out. What I would love to hear is when you told your mom about the song, that it was going to come out and that you were going to share this story. I mean, how was that conversation? How did that feel?
Well, so I actually she came over. So this was during their divorce that I wrote this song. So I after I caught my dad cheating on my mom was staying with us off and on for several, I guess a couple months really, through their divorce. And while she was staying here is when I wrote that song. You could do anything, and whenever I walked in, like you were saying, I played it for Chloe and we prayed about it. But that night, my mom was actually staying with my sister. And anyway, once once I had decided to, yeah, I am going to put this out. My mom came over, stayed the night with us, a day or two later that week, and we were going out to eat, and I hooked up to the Bluetooth on the way to Texas Roadhouse, I think is where we went. And I was like, "Here, I want you to hear something." I played it for her. Dude, she had to pull over. She was crying so hard. And she said, "Are you going to put that out?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And because I wanted to make sure that I was for sure going to put it out before she ever heard it, because I didn't want to make her, really and truly, I didn't want to make her cry for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, don't get me wrong. I wanted her to hear the song, but she was just really and truly, we were all at the lowest point of our lives probably during this, because it's crazy. Somebody that you look up to so much for 26 years, 25 years, and at like the flip of a light switch, everything changes. Um, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to put the song out before I ever played it for her. Once I figured out that I was officially going to put it out and I did want to record it, then I let her hear it, and then that's when she sobbed. And she she said, are you putting that out?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And she said, "Well, I don't want you to do anything that you're going to regret later, because that song will make it hard for you to have a relationship with your dad later down the road," which it will. But my thought process is, maybe there's a husband that hears that song that has been talking to another woman, or there's a kid that's going through the same thing that I went through, or there's a maybe even the woman's side, or whatever the circumstance may be. If that song will help two or three people, it's worth putting out. And I have received countless messages of people saying how that song has helped them already, and it hasn't even been out a week. So it's already worth it to me.
How do you think? How are you going to know when the time is right to bring that relationship back with dad?
I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you. Um, Whenever the song came out on Friday, last Friday, I went out to eat with my preacher, and I talked to him about it, because it's been a little over a year now. And honestly, this last year has been so exhausting, and not even from like being on the road. It's exhausting because I just have, honestly, I mean, there's no other way to put it. I have hatred, to be honest, still. Um, and that is exhausting because like I told my mom and I told Chloe, I hope that no one in my lifetime has hatred for me the way that I have hatred for my dad.
Let's turn to something happy. Your mom. I got done watching a podcast with your mom on it, with Connor Smith's mom, and your mom is a freaking hoot. I hope you bring her to Country in the Park when you come out, because it's going to be the day before Mother's Day. I think it would be awesome. She tells a story about how you wanted to change your name to Johnny Cash.
Okay, so how that came about. Uh that movie I Walked the Line, have you ever seen that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever that movie first came out, we got the movie and we watched it, and I used to have this little guitar, probably only had like two or three strings on it, and I would run around the house. I would have my guitar strap on. I would run around the house and I would just act like I was playing and singing songs and stuff. And anyway, I learned I Walk the Line. And so all of those songs in that movie, I would run around the house and I would, be singing them. And I remember I was so fascinated with that movie that I mean, I was probably like 4 years old. I asked my mom, I said, "Will you change my name to Johnny Cash?" And she was like, "No." And I just honestly, I probably threw like a little temper tantrum.
She said you cried about it. You literally cried about not being able to change your name.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Then it's true. My mom doesn't lie. My mom doesn't lie. I just remember I threw a fit about it. I didn't know that I cried, but if she said I did, I'm sure I did.
Everyone always thinks of you as the big tough guy, and I got to ask you about another story she was telling about how your sister had to kick somebody's butt on a school bus because they were picking on you.
Yeah, they were making like your mama jokes to me. And I was like, my mom is a sweet. Here's the deal. I'm a huge mama's boy, as you can tell. But yeah, and so my sister actually, I don't think she laid a hand on him, but it was one of her best friends. And I got so mad because, all right, so kid, if there's children listening to this, do not follow this advice. But the deal was with my parents, if I didn't lay the first punch, I could lay the last. And so this kid would never touch me, but he would always talk trash about my mom, like making the stupid your mama jokes or whatever. And so I used to get so mad and I used to just wish he would hit me. And he never would. But anyway, um, my sister, she knew this was like every day, and I rode the school bus. His name was Simon. So if Simon's listening to this, I'm still coming for you. Well, Simon would always say that your mama jokes. And anyways, my sister knew that it was ongoing. So she got two or three of her friends to pile up in her Jeep Grand Cherokee. And anyway, I got off the bus. They were like, "Get in." I was like, "What are we doing?" They're like, "Get in." And so we fought. This is actually kind of sketchy now that I'm talking about it, but we followed the school bus, and every time the bus would stop and a kid would get off, she would go, "Is that him?" I'm like, "No." And then next stop, she go, "Is that him?" I'm like, "No." Eventually, Simon stepped off, and they rolled the windows down, and they just absolutely obliterated this guy. Windows down, just trash talking him, pointing fingers, trash talking him the whole way that he walked home. So,
And did he leave you alone after that? Is the question.
yeah, he did actually. He stopped riding the bus.
Talk. You talk a lot about your love for cooking. Obviously, some of the things you got from your mom, and I was watching you cooking prime rib for your soon to be in laws. You talk about your love for the Traeger. I mean, so Traeger or green egg, and why one over the other when people are getting ready to go cook?
So I've never had a green egg, mainly because I could never afford one. Um, and I know that they're like super expensive. I have this like I literally bought it, I think at Walmart. If I want that charcoal taste, I have this little portable round grill. It'll cook like 6 burgers at a time. And I'll put it on the tailgate of my truck right here in the front yard. And I'll cook up burgers if I want that charcoal taste. Just if I want charcoal. However, my Traeger and my Blackstone are my two go-tos for grilling. The other day I made steaks, uh, and for me and Chloe, and we did some fillets. And I did. Here's the trick: anybody listening that loves to cook steak, if you set your meat out about 30 minutes before you put it on the grill and let it get to room temperature, and then grill it, it's so much more tender. However, what I do is I'll set my steak out. I'll let it get to room temp, season it really well, whatever seasoning of your choice is. Get the Traeger set to about 325. Cook it internally. I like a medium rare plus to medium. So what I do is I'll cook it internally. I think it's like 127 or 128 internal is what I try to go for. And then I'll turn the Traeger off, have the Blackstone already piping hot, little bit of oil, and get the Blackstone as hot as you can possibly get it. Get those steaks off of the Traeger, put them on the Blackstone, 1 minute on each side. You get that crust. It's great. And then let them set for like 10 minutes, and then it's unbelievable.
That sounds amazing. I'm a complete charcoal guy. I have the original OG Weber charcoal. Nothing fancy. I'm not a fan of propane or any of that sort of stuff. That's why I keep doing the charcoal grill. And I think those are some great tips, man.
Dude, and so I can't cook a burger on anything other than charcoal. And grilled chicken with charcoal, you get that charcoal taste. It's unreal. And here's the deal: I didn't get this big from not eating good food. You know, so obviously you need to take those of y'all listening. Take what I'm saying and really run with it. So I love cooking on that little. I've got that portable charcoal grill that I just. It's great for burgers, and I put it on the boat. So whenever we're running the river or whatever, because I like hunting for arrowheads on the river, and I'll like Chloe will pack a little cooler, and we'll throw in like a couple three or four ham pattied like burgers in a Ziploc bag. I'll take that grill and that little bag of charcoal, and we're set.
Man, we need to go. We need to bring a portable Weber out for country in the park. Go stop over and see my friends over at Roseville Meat Market and pick up like some big old tomahawks for backstage, I think.
Oh, buddy, yes, sir.
You talk about how other country stars want to go and open up a bar in downtown Nashville, and you're like, forget that. Shane Profitt is gonna have a restaurant in downtown Nashville for people to go to, not a bar.
That's exactly right.
What's serving at your restaurant?
I think it's something different every day. I think Sunday we do a pot roast. But here's the deal. I don't want like a regular restaurant. I want a meat and three, like mom and pop meat and three, handmade from scratch every day, but it's 24 hours. So I think I think it's genius. Really and truly, the only thing that's 24 hours is Waffle House here. And so I'm not always in the mood for breakfast food. And I'm not big on waffles. So I would much rather imagine this bachelor party, bachelorette party on Broadway till 2, 3 in the morning, out drinking. Do you want a waffle and, hash browns and bacon? Or would you rather have a meatloaf with gravy and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese? I know what I'd pick, you know? It's like,
That makes that piece of grilled chicken that I was gonna have for lunch seem pretty worthless after what you're talking about here. I'm ready to go all in.
come on, brother. Hop on a flight. I'll take you out.
You you do some really cool things when you're away from Chloe. You have this video where you're cutting roses, making sure that there's flowers in and waiting. So if you could give a tip to all guys in America, because guys sometimes get a bad rap for not taking care of their ladies, what piece of advice would you want to give them?
Always let your lady know that she is being heard, because they always want to. There's a difference in listening and being heard. Your lady wants to be heard and understood the best that you can, if you can. And it's the little things. I've found that it doesn't matter how much money you spend on your woman. Understand, every woman's a little different. I would say the majority, they don't care how much you spend on them, as long as you put thought into whatever it is you're doing. So, and something else I try to do, especially with as much as I'm gone on the road, is whenever I get home, put the phone away, enjoy you and her time, and just let her know that you care about her.
It was great tips. And man, you talk about a lost art of being able to put your phone away and actually have one-on-one communication. I feel like that's certainly a skill that a lot of people have lost these days.
Dude, I feel like there's a lot of people today that just can't even carry on a conversation, and it's really sad.
They can type one though.
Yeah, they could type one out on iMessage or iText. But yeah, I I think that iPhones should come. This would never happen. I wish that iPhones would come with like a 20 minute lock on each app. Like, oh, you can have Instagram, but only 20 minutes a day. Uh,
Amen.
I think that would be magnificent myself, but what do I know?
Well, you certainly put away the phone when you were cooking the big old prime rib for your in-laws, and your soon-to-be father-in-law says, "Boy, it's an experience hanging out with Shane." What does he mean by it's an experience? And by the way, I also have to say I didn't even realize you had such a great set of hair until I saw that video too, because you always have the hat on. I mean, you got some good fur.
I've got a
Look
bunch of
at
it.
that.
I've got a bunch of
Look
it.
at that.
Yeah, I think. Oh man. So I think the first time that my in-laws ever came and visited mine and Chloe's home, I think, well, understand, they're from Orlando, Florida, so they're not really country folk, which is fine. Um, but the first time that they came and visited, I went to get something out in the truck. I don't even remember what it was. But anyway, long story short, there was a deer feeder in the backyard, and I had these raccoons would come up and they would eat a hole in my deer feeder every time. And so I grabbed my gun. I didn't tell anybody I was about to shoot or anything. I just grabbed a gun and I started picking off the raccoons. And I came back in, I didn't even say anything, and they were like looking at me like deer in headlights, like what the hell just happened? And I told them I just shot some raccoons. So stuff like that, I feel like is they're not used to stuff like that. So
That must have been an experience. I bet Chloe got an earful from her dad about that.
well, I don't know. I don't know. Eventually they thought it was funny, but yeah, I don't know. I think it just kind of surprised them more than anything. I was over there blasting a 22. And they were just inside about to eat dinner. So I was out there shooting raccoons in the yard.
One of my favorite songs you have out right now that you hear on KNCI, and we're so excited here at Country in the Park. Long live country. You talk a little bit about a line in there about John Deere Green, and you shared the story about how you came up with the Diffie line with me offline. I would love for you to be able to tell the audience about that because it was really cool how you paid homage to him in that song.
Yeah. So long live country. In the second verse, like you said, every boy's got a story of a John Deere green, water tower wrote about her in Rust-Oleum paint. So the day we were writing this song, we were writing. We knew it was a feel good up tempo anthem, and we were taking a break. I think one of the guys went to the bathroom, and I went and got a drink or something, and or ordered food, or I stepped away for a second. We were taking a quick break, and I was scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or whatever it was, and in the downtime, and I saw that somebody had posted it was the 2 year anniversary of Joe Diffie's passing, and I kind of walked back in the room and I said, "Hey, what if we pay a tribute to Joe Diffie? It don't get more country than that." And they were like, "Oh heck yeah!" So that's kind of how that came to life.
What are you jamming on your playlist right now? Who's going to be the next Shane Profitt coming up that you're excited about?
Man, I have Lord, I've got through this business. I've met so many talented people. Preston Cooper, I think, is one of the best voices in country music right now. I've got a really good buddy that I'm signing to my co-publishing deal, and he has a song coming out tomorrow. His name's John O. Clayton, and he you probably haven't heard of him, but I promise you will. The dude is insanely talented, and I would say John O. Gavin. I'm definitely blasting some Gavin. I love Gavin, and you can't go wrong with Zach Top and Hardy. Hardy's the man. So.
Yeah. Good stuff on the playlist, man, and going to be a really fun night with you May 8th at Country in the Park with John Party, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, Ashley Cook just jumped on the bill too. I mean, what do you want to tell people the reason is to come see Shane Profitt early because you're opening up day one of Country in the Park?
I can assure you that nobody will leave my set and go, he didn't give it 110%.
CITPfest.com to get those tickets so you can see Shane. And I'm going to wrap up on this question. So it's a Friday night, you're hanging out with Chloe at home, your phone rings, and you look over at who's calling you and you roll your eyes and go, if I answer this and I go out with this person, it's probably a pretty good chance I'm going to end up in jail. Which country superstar is it?
Michael Hardy.
You know what? You're the second person that we've talked to that has said Hardy. He's a really bad influence on people.
No, he's not, but I think the only reason I say that is because the anytime me and him would get together, chances are we're about to hunt something, and I don't know. I feel like we both love looking for arrowheads, and we may kind of trespass a little bit, maybe to go try to find some arrowheads or something. So I don't know. That's why I say that.
All right, I love it. Shane Profitt, man, thank you so much for being part of Backroads and Backstories Country in the Park edition. And man, we can't wait to see you May 8th at Cal Expo. CITPfest.com has all the info. Make sure that you like this episode below. Make sure you subscribe as well because we're going to have some fun, man. Appreciate it. Continued success to you and always appreciate you making time to hang with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.